So first of all, thank you for being here in PAND VAN
You're
MOKUM.
welcome, you're welcome.
Thanks. For the people who do not know you on the other side of the screen, who are you?
Well, I'm Ross Curry. I'm a musician. I've been for a long time. I'm a singer and I play guitar. Mainly, that's what I mainly do. What I play bass, play drums. Don't play keyboards, but I mainly sing and play guitar.
And
So, and write, of course. I write my own. I write music.
in my younger times, I came across you with TRYOUT,
Yeah.
and you developed a lot. Right now, you're in a psychedelic stoner kind of
Yeah.
thing. What they call it, TETSUWAN.
TETSUWAN, yeah.
And can you tell me the whole development from a bit of a rock kind of, can I say pop genre in that? Rocky pop for TRYOUT, or?
Yeah, I suppose. Well, that's the big difference, I think, between TETSUWAN for me, is you have certain ways of writing music, and you have like the what I call very old school format, which is the so-called right way to write songs, which is you have the intro, and you have a verse, and then you have a little bridge to the chorus, and then there's a chorus, there'll be another verse, and then a middle eight. There's this whole format, and it's quite constricting. On one hand, on the other hand, you can do all kinds of stuff in this format.
Yeah.
I was kind of tired of the format. I was more into the feeling of the music.
Well, is it a different kind of approach as well?
Yeah, it is. It's more building on textures, and sort of what I do now is I try to sort of paint a picture with lyrics. And the lyrics I write now they sort of I try and evoke a kind of image, and with this image there's a certain kind of atmosphere. It can be dark or whatever, or dreamy, and that sort of dictates the music for me. So I might have a piece of music, and the music will dictate the kind of lyrics. There's a kind of vibe, you can sort of feel it. Whereas pop is more, well, pop or rock music is sort of more like a format. Is sort of, you don't really go into the feelings and the textures. So that's more where I am now. Sort of the imagery of the words, and trying to combine that with the atmosphere of the music that's been written.
It's interesting. We said imagery. Wow, that's a
Imagery.
Imagery. Again,
Imagery.
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 If you start writing a song, how does that happen? What does happen in your mind? Do you start with a guitar lick, or just a vibe?
Well, sometimes I'd be like just now. You said the word imagery, and you say, oh, imagery. So that could be like one focus thing. I thought, oh, imagery. That's a cool word.
Yeah.
And so I start something around like imagery, or how can you sort of make something around that? That can be one approach. Sometimes it can be a riff. I'm playing, I can hear something, or even like when you make a mistake and it's like, oh, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you sort of evolve that. But it can be anything. Most of the time it will be a riff. With TETSUWAN, it's usually a riff I'm playing, or a series of riffs. And then I might have some words somewhere. Sometimes I just write words down. Like if I have an idea, sometimes I sort of force myself to sit down and write something based on something I've heard or seen, or something I want to write about. At the moment, a lot of it is about war, because that's what I'm seeing. So a lot goes into that, and sort of trying to combine that with certain riffs. And sometimes you play a riff and you sing a line, and it will work. Sometimes it doesn't, and you just keep going. And sometimes it's just like words I'm hearing, and it sort of evokes an image, again, the imagery, and you sort of build on that, and you sort of try and build it up to some sort of a climax.
Mm-hmm.
And it has nothing to do with verse, chorus, middle eight bridges. It's more just trying to create a sort of atmosphere which can be tense,
Mm-hmm.
or as I said, dreamy, or whatever. Just building layers, I suppose, to get to where you want to be. And sometimes it can be like some of the songs they're like 8, 9 minutes, 10. Some are 15 minutes, 16 minutes.
17 even.
17 minutes. The latest one, which will be out in October, is like, yeah, it's 17 minutes. So, and that's like a whole journey. But if you look at what we're talking about, pop or rock music or commercial music, I suppose, it won't be any longer than 3 minutes. And now, as of now, 3 minutes is long for a pop tune. We're talking
230, 245, yeah.
And that's also because of the whole social media thing. The longer a song is, the longer it's going to take people to get into it.
Attention span is
also,
short,
especially with mobile telephones.
Yes.
Social media, it's like, if it's not happening within the first 10 seconds, people sort of scroll on.
Yeah, they scroll on. Yeah.
So
don't fucking scroll. But getting back to that one word, there is also a track, and if I can collect it myself, it is from TETSUWAN as well. It's called Blood.
The blood, yeah.
Yeah. Is it true that is written during COVID, and is that the connection with it? Or?
Yeah, I did write it during COVID. I wrote a lot of stuff, and a lot of TETSUWAN stuff I wrote during COVID. And it is combined with that, because after a while, when COVID began, it was like, oh, it's going to take another week. But then the weeks started turning into months, and the months started turning into years. And I actually found I was quite comfortable, because I was just writing and just writing songs and just recording music. So I quite enjoyed it. In that aspect of it, I enjoyed. The rest, of course, I didn't. But I sort of, the idea just came in, how suddenly things can change. Like literally from one day to the next, the whole world had changed, and the way we approach things had changed, and the way we saw things had changed, and the way we sort of just sit up and followed changed also. Because nobody questioned, hardly anybody questioned it. And I'm not like a conspiracy theorist or whatever, but I also did find it strange that people just did what they were told without questioning nothing. They just did what they were told, and they just got along with it.
Yeah, a lot of people stop critical thinking
That's what I mean. And there was a couple of people, of course,
dangerous, I think.
like the conspiracy people,
yeah,
who were frowned upon. You know, you can think whatever you will of it, but I did notice that in COVID, that people, they just, whatever was told by the government, they sort of did it without questioning, which was quite frightening actually, and the way people just went mad. Yeah,
and it was a long period. It was 1.5 to 2 years that.
And it wasn't necessary at all. A lot of the stuff that happened, the lockdowns, wasn't really necessary. I mean, it's obvious that if you're gonna tell people that they can't go to a bar or do whatever, they can't socialize, that's the first thing they're gonna do in a clandestine way. Like the gatherings in the parks, people standing on the street, like all like totally arseholed, like in the middle of the street. The people getting drunk like 3 o'clock in the afternoon because you couldn't buy alcohol after 8 o'clock and stuff like this. You know,
you couldn't be at
massive queues by the coffee shops, and oh my god, man, it's crazy.
I completely bruised my brain thinking about it. That you couldn't go to your hairdresser or
No.
but you can go to a sex worker.
Yeah.
So I was so confused.
It was
I was
crazy.
like, what the funk?
It was crazy. It was
Yeah.
really crazy. But yeah, as I said, like there's a lot of. I sort of realized I don't want to spend too much time doing stuff that I don't really want to do. I don't know. I just want to spend time doing what I can do. Can't do much, but I can do music.
Yeah.
So I thought that's what I'm going to do. Just write and keep doing that, because if you're talking about writing music or making music, writing songs, writing lyrics or whatever, and you're talking about inspiration, it has to come from somewhere. It does.
Can it be a happy place as well?
It can be a happy place.
Yeah.
Depending on the person.
Yeah. Do you write from a happy place as well, or is more like a critical thinking thing that?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a happy place.
Yeah, but what is a happy place, to be honest?
I don't really know. What is? Maybe content.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the word, but happy. It might sound sad, but I'm probably not really a happy or sort of a happy-go-lucky kind of person. I kind of look at things in a critical way.
Yeah.
I sort of try and look at all the sides, and not just sort of dive in head first.
Yeah, but you're not a dark thinker as well.
No, I mean, because like you have people who in a dark place. If you're in a really dark place, you can't really do much.
No.
It's just too dark. I've been there as well. Not much happens because it's also a kind of defeatist kind of way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really do much. You can't create stuff. It's just not. It's not there.
Yeah.
It's too dark, and there's no light at all. If there's no light at all, you can't see nothing. So, in that sense, I suppose I'm not. I suppose you could call it a happy place, because I can sort of usually sit down and write. Well, coming back to that again, even if you are inspired, or if there's certain things you want to write about, or you still have to sit down, and some days there'll be nothing. It's just like an empty page, and you'll have like 2 words. And sometimes you're just walking somewhere, and they'll be, I have to stop and I have to write this down.
You have to write it down.
Or
are you still old school, like pen and paper?
Not pencil.
What? A pencil?
I use a pencil.
You can erase it again.
So I can erase it, and I have I always have a pencil and a pad.
Yeah.
And the music, sometimes I'll hum it into the dictaphone on my phone, or I'll play something. Like not even electric, just on acoustic, like a little riff or a little lick. And I have like massive catalogue on the phone, and sometimes I'll be working on something and say, it's missing something, and I'll go back to the phone and say, I have this little riff or that.
Yeah.
And it'll be like 40 seconds or maybe a minute. But that does help.
And if you do not record it, it's gone, because it's on that moment.
Sometimes it can be a thing, just a slight thing that's like interesting, and I don't know whether it's age but it sort of does disappear sometimes.
I don't think it is age, because when I go back in my memory, I had it already when I was 19. I had a small kind of lyric in my head, and I thought, do it over and over again in my head. I did not write it down, and I came home and it was gone.
It was gone, yeah.
It was gone.
So it can happen.
Yeah. Or the words, but the whole vibe and everything is gone.
Yeah. Sometimes it does come back. It's there it is again. But a lot of the times, if it just sort of comes, and if I don't write it down straight away, it'll be gone. Or the idea of it will be gone.
Yeah. Now you brought it up, the age. You are already started when you were.
When I start music.
The music, yeah.
I started playing when I was about 11, 12. So I've been doing it more than 40 years now.
Yeah.
45 years. And I professionally I started when I was about, the first gigs were around 15,
15.
14, 15.
What has changed in the way you write right now?
Not much.
Not much.
Not much.
Yeah.
Not much. The only thing is, it's important that you write. You have to stay close to yourself within, and not try and be a pleaser.
Yeah.
Try and write for someone else, or write something, and think, oh, people are gonna love this. Fuck that. You just have to. If you like it, that at least there's one, and if there's one, you can sort of know there'll be at least one more, and if there's two, there might even be three people who like it. So if you're writing stuff for other people, maybe like if you're like very accomplished, and if you're able, of course you can write something that other people are gonna like. Mm-hmm. But if you don't like it, how are you gonna be able to play it?
Yeah.
With conviction?
It's not the main goal to, you know, collect those likes and things like that. But
No,
it's more...
now it's likes and whatever.
Yeah.
But back in the day, it was like, yeah,
you have to
people
sell.
said, oh, you need a hit on the radio.
Yeah.
And when you're young, you sort of listen to a lot of people because obviously they know more than you do. But regardless of that, it's basically when you're doing, whether it be any kind of art form, or if you're like a photographer or a journalist, musician, or a writer,
yeah,
whatever, actor, if you don't like what you're doing,
it's gonna show.
How are you gonna convince somebody else to like it?
Yeah.
Because if you're not convinced, people are gonna know. They're gonna feel. And it could be like you can sort of get away with it for a while. This kind of superficial, pleasing kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But after a while, it's like, okay, so and now.
And especially
and then
with
nobody knows what you're about.
Yeah.
So, and how do you get back to that? So it's best just to stay close to what you are, what you stand for, believe in, doing your art. In my case, it's music. And that's basically also like the whole idea of TETSUWAN.
Yeah.
You just
because a new album is coming out October or November.
Well, it's an EP.
An EP, yeah, it's coming out.
It's an EP because it's one song.
Yeah, it's one song.
But it's 17 minutes, so it's classed as an EP.
Yeah.
And we're going to start with that, and then because at the moment we're looking for a bass player, because the bass player, he left after the first tour of the album tour, the first album after that tour, he left because he's busy, he's doing other stuff. So we're still looking for a bass player at the moment. So we're going to be releasing Yonder, which is the new tune, in October. And then later on there'll be more new music, and there's like, we've recorded even more music, so that doesn't stop. That will just keep going on.
Is there a song as well in the whole repertoire that's longer than the 17 minutes?
Well, to be honest, when we recorded Yonder, it was about 25 minutes, and I thought this is a bit too long, because if you're making an album, and if you want to make a vinyl album,
yeah, the
ideal length for a vinyl album will be, I think it's 22 minutes each side. So I thought, okay, we're going to have to sort of cut it down a bit, because it won't fit. It might fit, but the quality doesn't get any better. So I sort of took a little piece out, because a lot of it was, it's played live and it's improvised. A lot of it is improvised. So I thought, okay, we can sort of miss a bit here. So I just took a little bit out, because it just kept on going, which is fine. And live we played, it's even longer, like it's towards like half an hour. And it's like that kind of song that sort of draws you in. It's very hypnotizing, and I think that's probably the longest. But there's a couple of songs like The Blood can be long. I think it's about 8 minutes on the album, but we can draw it out to like 15 sometimes live, depending on the vibe. And there's a couple of songs like that. But most songs, most TETSUWAN songs, they're usually around between 7 and 10 minutes, which is still not short, but
It's 3 times the average of a
Yeah.
pop song.
yeah,
You're talking about you are looking for a bass player.
yeah.
You already have somebody in mind, or
There's a couple of people we'll be checking, and there's a couple of people who've been
Waiting.
yeah. There's a couple of people we're checking out. There's a couple of people who've been to have a jam that didn't really work out. So we're still looking, and so open to suggestions.
yeah. So people for the other side, you know, a bass player that
If you know a bass
fits.
player who's into heavy music, doomy music, challenging music. It's quite challenging. Give us a shout. Give us a call. Go to the TETSUWAN page, and we can work something out.
And it's TETSUWAN.com.
Yeah, you can mail TETSUWAN gmail.com, or go to Instagram, TETSUWAN the band. Check that one out.
Go to hello@SmetMan.Amsterdam, and I will forward it to TETSUWAN.
Cool.
That's the thing to do as well. Hey, talking about that EP,
Yeah.
when did the idea started for a number that was approximately like 25 minutes?
It wasn't. I just started with. I had this little riff I was playing, and it was in 5/4, which is a time signature. Like it's 5 counts over 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I had this riff, and I thought, oh, that's quite cool. And I sort of built around that, and we were jamming it, and because I record everything, like all the rehearsals I record, and I take it home, and it's like, wait, it's cool, but not cool enough. So I would mess about, and then I would add another piece, add it on, and then the way I work, I write songs, I record it at home with a simple drum pattern, because I'm not very good at programming. So I use simple drums, send it to the guys, and then we go into the practice space, and we just play it live, and just build from there. And that's what happened with this. It sort of kept going and going. It took months. I think it probably took a year. And then we got to a point that was like, yeah, it's cool. There's something missing there, so take it back. And every time, like, we'd add something, it was like, oh, this is cool, but I think this bit should be longer. So, and kept going and going. And at one point, I said, there was like the bass player, he started playing a riff, and I said, when we're finished with this, can you sort of go back to that riff, but play in a different key, and then we'll just leave everything open. And that's what we done. And that was like, he started with the bass, and we sort of started building, and every time we done that, it just kept getting longer and longer.
Yeah.
But it was the same kind of, it was a 5/4 counts, and it just kept getting, started very quiet, and just kept gradually getting longer and longer, and the dynamics were sort of stretched, so it would go from very quiet slowly to a massive crescendo at the end, to see how heavy we can get it. And that's why it's live's probably longer than 30 minutes sometimes.
Yeah. And you've got TETSUWAN,
Yeah.
but there's also another band.
Yeah, HYDRA VEIN.
Yeah.
Which is, HYDRA VEIN is, I joined HYDRA VEIN. I was asked to record an EP, 5 tracks. because basically the only original member is the bass player, Damon Madison. He lives in Amsterdam, but he's also English. And I think HYDRA VEIN were on tour, and he met his now wife and decided to come back. And the band has been going since, I think, 1986. And I was like, it's a thrash metal band, like old school, like thrash metal, but on the like the boundary of hardcore punk and thrash metal. So it's very fast and very violent and heavy, which is perfect. And but he's the only member that's left, and he asked me to do these songs. And so we rehearsed recording, and it was all cool. And then he didn't really know what to do with it. He just wanted to do these songs, record them, and have them done. And then we started talking about playing live, and I said, well, I'd love to play live, but I'm not gonna, like, if I'm gonna do a whole repertoire of these thrash songs, I need like more than 1 or 2 shows. So get a little tour going. But that never happened. That never panned out. So the drummer left. He said, "Okay, I'm gonna join another band so I can keep playing." Fine. And what also happened was they had a guitar player, and he sort of left in between. He was supposed to record some songs on the EP because he was one of the co-writers, but eventually he didn't want to do it anymore. So he didn't. He was supposed to come, and then a couple of days before he said, "Yeah, no, I decided not to." So they asked me, like, as I was sitting in the recording studio, Damon came. He said, "Oh, listen, the other guitar player, he's not coming. Can you do the rest of the solos?" And I'm saying, "Okay, fine, whatever." So it was fine. We done the EP, and then fast forward to like near enough a year later, Damon says there's a band called Remain Untamed. They've said, "Oh, do you want to do a couple of shows?" And so I said, "I tell you what, why don't we do it and just get it going again?" So I asked a friend of mine, Noff, who's actually an ex-boyfriend of my daughter's. He's a drummer, a metal drummer. So I said, "Do you fancy having a try, having a jam?" So we came down, we had a jam, all worked out, and now we've got like a little tour going in October. And I've written a couple of new songs. We'll be recording them soon. So yeah, that's also in a sort of in a forward mode. So that's all cool. And as I said, it's like I started probably around maybe 1980, 84, 5, 6. I was a drummer in a hardcore crossover band.
Yeah.
And that was like when hardcore punk started adding heavy metal elements, which was called thrash and crossover.
Yes.
And there was a few bands doing it, and there was like Metallica came, Slayer, stuff like that. But there was also bands like Suicidal Tendencies, DRI. They were like hardcore bands who were playing all like metal music, and that's sort of what HYDRA VEIN reminds me of, because that's what my old band. That band was called Blatant Jobs. I was the drummer in that band, and they went on to play a lot of shows, and I left. They went on to record albums and went on to play, and what's funny is the guys from Remain Untamed, who we'll be playing some shows with, I actually played with the bass player. He used to be in another band called Brutal Obscenity, which was a hardcore band. And we actually played shows together, like in the 80s, with Blatant Jobs. And then like a couple of weeks ago, we met again. And I didn't realize it was the same guy. He said, "I know you from that band." I said, "Well, we played there and we played there." So that's cool. We get to play. We still get to play. We still get to do it, which is privilege really, because I know a lot of people who've been doing it as long as I have, and they just sort of, they do it for a laugh, and they sort of, yeah, I have a guitar and I play, but they didn't pursue it. They have a job and kids and that.
There's a plan B.
Which is,
And most of the times it destroys plan A. You said also something about your daughter.
Yeah.
Because you had to be a proud father.
I am very proud, yeah.
Following in your footsteps, although her own material and everything.
Yeah, she's in her own, she does her own stuff. And I never force my kids to take music lessons, or if they want to, they want to.
Yeah.
If they decided to pursue it, of course, I'll help them any way I can. But I've never forced them to take any form of music lessons, only if they asked me, if they wanted to. But she really wanted to do it. She goes to the Herman Brood Academy, and since then she's been playing in different bands. And one band she's in now, Seki, they just skyrocketed.
Yeah.
And they're playing like every festival you can imagine. And yeah, kids are going wild. So, and they've been everywhere. She just sent me a message from where were they? I think they were in Belgium somewhere, Germany and France. Played in what they would, and sent me a message from Manchester. This massive mural of Ian Curtis from Joy Division, and like there's a photograph of the band like pointing at Ian Curtis, and which is so cool. Because yeah, I mean she's 22, so that's like, if you're gonna do it, that's the age to
start,
the age to do it,
to fly off. Yeah.
And when you still have the energy.
What is the name of her band?
The band's called Seki.
Seki.
Seki. It's French.
And what kind of
It's sort of punk rock, quite sort of garagey punk rock, but it's not just noise. They do have tunes, so they're good tunes, which sort of helps. That's probably why a lot of people like them.
Yeah.
And it's just massive energy. It's just massive energy they've got. And like I've seen them loads of times, but every time you see them, it's like, oh yeah, you know, it's like every time they go for it as if it's the last time and the first time all at once.
Yeah.
Which is, that's, you know, I mean, that's the best way to do a show.
That's that crazy energy.
Just the crazy energy, you know. And like when you're older, you sort of have to drum it up. And it's like, okay, you know.
Because how is it? Because we are from the same age.
Yeah.
We are 26, and
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have been for a long time, actually. But.
Yeah. How do you do that? You know that, because I know that when you're on stage, the adrenaline and all the thing you have to do, but you're not only playing the guitar, you're also the vocalist. So it's double that energy what you have to you know, get out. How do you prepare yourself for that?
How do you prepare? Well, I can remember a vocal coach told me once that the singing, it's not from the throat, it's like from the insides.
Yes.
And she advised to do a lot of chest exercises. Like she said, yeah, I have all my students do push-ups and stuff, even if it's just a couple, what they can manage to build it up, to build the strength up. So like you can sort of fill up your lungs and exhale from there, which was really good advice because that helps. And also, I don't smoke, I don't drink, and I don't take drugs.
0.0, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Which also helps.
Yeah. That
because
helps
also when you're younger, you can handle a lot more.
Yep. But
like after a while, you can notice it. And even when you're younger, if you've been out and you've been drinking and you've smoked a pack cigarettes, you will know the next day. You will know, and the voice will know, and you can tell. And if you do that night after night, if you're on a tour, things just eventually they go wrong.
That's why a lot of good musicians disappear at an early age because they are not built for that kind of life, you know.
No, I mean, I don't think anybody's built for it.
Yeah, but you can say no. But
can say no.
There are so many people who can't say no.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
it's
that
also
it's-
expected, which is because I
Is
must
that still in the music industry right now?
Less-
That's
less
expected?
so.
Because
less
in
so,
the 80s, in the 90s, yes, it was all, you know.
less so. But there's still, I mean, it's not just music. It's just like being young in general. You're sort of expected to have a good time and
Experiment
do-
with stuff.
experiment
Till,
with stuff.
till that experiment
Experience.
sticks on you.
Experience with stuff and that.
Yeah.
And also it's like pressure, peer pressure. If you are in a group of friends or people you hang around with, and everybody does something like or smokes or drinks, it's sort of weird if you don't. When you're older, you're sort of more comfortable, and it's like, no, fuck you, I'll do what I want. You don't necessarily listen to other people. You just do what's right for you.
Yeah,
But when you're young, you sort of, not everybody knows what's right to do for
Yeah.
themselves. You're sort of finding your way. You're still finding your way. And some people, it takes a long time for them to find their way. And other people, it's like, no, that's not for me. That's not for me. I'm not doing that.
yeah.
And some people, they just see how far they can go. I mean, if you can be doing all kinds of stuff, and they're staying up late, and they're drinking and smoking, whatever, and then you go out and do like the best shows ever, there's not much reason for someone to say, okay, I'm going to stop. I mean, other people will notice it, people around you. Of course, people will notice if you're drinking all the time or smoking, and because of your behaviour, that will change. Maybe the performances will be just as good, but your behaviour will change, especially if you've been doing it for a long time. So that's another thing. Eventually,
It sucks the life out of you, mate.
it does.
It's a-
I mean, it just
you know,
drains
it's-
and it drains, and
it's
eventually it
just a
just
question
gets
of time.
it just gets harder to do it, and
Yeah.
there comes a point where you just can't do it anymore.
No.
If you keep banging on with late nights and the so-called rock and roll lifestyle, either you die or you just get sick.
And if you're lucky, you die at 27.
To fulfill the myth, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, when I was 20, I can't imagine 27. I mean, I'd done nothing.
You're just a puppy still.
I'd done
when you're
nothing when I was
27.
27. I mean, it doesn't even begin before that, really.
No.
So
It's like let's say like your daughter. She's now 20.
she's 22.
22.
Yeah.
You know, she started right now, and she just has to blossom.
Yeah.
And you want to see her when you're 90, when she's
Exactly, yeah,
40,
but I mean, as I
and
said-
still enjoy it. You know.
But as
Ah.
I said, like Kiki, she doesn't drink. She smokes, but she doesn't drink or take drugs and everything. But she smokes.
Yeah.
She still does that. Every now and again she'll stop, but she doesn't really do anything apart from that. And I've noticed that her band, they're not really. They will every now and again, but it's not like. I compare it to like when I was her age and the band that I was in. My fucking hell, man, that was like crazy. That wasn't. Maybe I couldn't compare it, but that was just a different vibe from like kids now. Or maybe not all kids, but I mean, it was even back then. It was a different vibe from other bands as well. But it was just. I mean, we're talking about like late 80s, 90s. It was just a different vibe.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
And now, like, no, it's just, it's not done to sort of go on a radio show like massively stoned and drunk and just play a live set and just play, like, just be banging them out one after the other. But now it's not. That's not how it's done. Which is, I suppose, it's better in a way.
Yeah. It's you know, everything got its phases in life, and
Yeah.
you know, yeah, when you're smart enough and you can take that helicopter view and you can tell yourself enough is enough, because you wanna live, you know, you wanna have a
Yeah.
quality kind of life.
Not just
Next
that.
to the stage.
It's a job, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, it's a job. So when you sort of realise, I suppose in the beginning you think, wow, this is so cool to do this, and then you sort of realise, okay, we've been on tour, we had an album, it was great. Now we have to do the next one and then do another tour, because otherwise, if we don't do another album, there won't be another tour. So it's a job, which is fine. It's fine, but then you sort of realise, okay, there's a certain there's something expected, I suppose, but you have to sort of better yourself the next time around. But you do realise it's a job at one point, and you have to, if you want to keep doing it, you can't sort of be playing about and, as I said, be staying up late and doing all kinds of stuff that you know you're not supposed to. Because in the end, it'll come back and bite you. That's what happens.
Absolutely, it's like a boomerang.
Yeah.
Hey, talking about touring,
Yeah.
I know you're still searching for a bass player.
Yeah.
But after the EP is done in October,
Yeah.
when it's launched, what are the ideas of touring?
Of course, we'll be, as soon as we can, we'll be back to play. And as I said, as we speak, I'm mixing another album, because, as I said, the music just keeps coming.
Yeah.
And as long as we can, we'll record. And luckily, Misha, the bass player, after the tour, we went into the studio and recorded another album. So that's not finished yet, but we're working on that. So we have material. But eventually, like, hopefully in October when the EP comes out, we'll have a bass player, and then probably some months after that we can start playing again with TETSUWAN. But in the meantime, I'll be going on a small tour with HYDRA VEIN in October as well. And
where does the tour start?
the first, I think the first one will be in Leiden.
Yeah.
We're playing in Leiden, and then I think a festival or something. I think the place is called Lazarus. And then we're playing at the Lantaren in Hellendoorn. I think that's the 16th or a week after, something like that. That's another, I think it's called Hellfest.
Yeah.
I mean, which heavy metal festival isn't called Hellfest? You know what I mean? But anyway, I think it's called Hellfest. Also because it's Hellendoorn, it's a town in the east of Holland, and that's why it's called Hellfest. So that also makes sense. But we'll be playing there. I think we'll be playing in Haarlem in Slachthuis, and that will be probably last week of October, 23, 24. And there's another couple. I think we're playing in Leiden on November, but there's a couple, and then we'll be in Amsterdam in the new year in January.
Yeah, where?
Probably at the Oedipus Brewery, which is not far from where we are now.
Yeah, that's where you
said.
I
went there for the first time. Went to see a band, two bands. One, June Bender from Amsterdam, which were really cool, and Kal-El. They're from, I think they're actually from Sweden or Norway. Anyway, they were really cool as well. Yeah. And I liked the venue, and I got talking to the guy, the guy who books the bands there. His name's Lodewijk. So I got talking to him, and so we're trying to sort something out. And so that will hopefully be the end of January, when all the festivities have died down, and everybody gets back to being themselves after Christmas and all that bullshit.
Do you still also have ideas, wandering around in your brain for the solo things you
Not
want
really,
to do?
no. No, not at all.
No, because
No,
you have done.
I have done lots of solo stuff,
Yeah.
but as I said, that was more in a. It's always been heavy, but maybe not as heavy as TETSUWAN. But I just sort of got tired of this format and the way of writing, the way I was writing songs. I was sort of got the feeling I was sort of repeating stuff and revisiting stuff. I thought I really don't want to go there anymore.
No, it was
So that just sort of see where it sort of takes me now.
Yeah, it was one carousel of thoughts, but the same thing came back and back and back.
Sort of, yeah.
For your
Eventually,
idea.
You have ideas, and then
yeah.
it's like because you're set in your ways, you sort of come back to the same thing. It was like I need to get off, as you said, get off the roundabout.
Yeah.
And see what else is there. And if you've been doing stuff for a long time, it's quite hard to sort of do other stuff.
Yeah.
But it is very healthy. I would recommend it to everyone. Just to go out there and do new stuff. If it's not for you, you'll find out soon enough. But maybe you'll learn new stuff. And, and then open up a new path you can sort of go down. And which will keep you going. You can draw inspiration from different things, and it will come out in a different way, as opposed to just doing the same thing all the time with slight changes, which I just didn't want to do anymore. So I thought I'm going to do it like try and do it different. For me, it's different. Maybe someone who'll hear the music will say, "Well, this is like exactly the same," which is fine. I don't give a shit. But for me, it's a big difference.
It's a different point of view.
It is
what you have, you know.
It is a different point of view. It's I mean, with everything, it's the way you approach it. If you approach it in a different way, you can sort of count on it coming out in a different way as well. Like the end results will be different.
Yeah.
Because the way you look at it is different. So the way the process will be different. Which is, and it's not always going to work. But it does open sort of doors, your own doors, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then from there you can sort of, you open other doors. It's like, oh yeah, you go in one direction. It's like, oh yeah, you go into one, and then it leads to another one, and then something you didn't expect, which is perfect.
Would you be bored if that doesn't happen?
I do get bored
easily. Are you
easily
bored? Yeah.
I am easily bored. I sort of tend to. I like to be working. I like to be working on stuff, and yeah, that's very important for me to be working on something.
Yeah.
Whether it be new songs. Now lately, I've been sort of trying to get into these little, like video edit things, like little, you know, like what I do for TETSUWAN. I like little leaders and that. And they're only short, but it takes me a long time because I'm absolutely shit. But it's getting better. It's getting better, but it does take a long time.
Come, Chewy. That was a hard laugh, isn't it?
Oh,
hey.
yeah.
By the way, this is Chewy.
Chewy the dog, yeah.
The lovely interview dog. Come on, Chewy. No? It's that a no? Yeah. Hello. No. Now, I recognize that at you because I'm also easily bored. And I do often things that I'm completely out of my comfort zone. And that fucks me up sometimes a little bit because I wake up in the middle of the night and that I did stupid things or whatever. It's going like a carousel thought through my mind, you know.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering because when I learned to know your music, and that was back in the 80s somewhere with Spodiodi.
Yeah.
And that was also with the same time with Shaco from Wouter Plantijd and things like that. But the development where you are right now with TETSUWAN, for me, it's so interesting because, you know, I've been listening to it and especially to The Blood.
Yeah.
It's from what I already said, and technical kind of rock pop, but also vocal wise to a complete different kind of sound. I still recognize your pitch, you know, because you've got a very interesting voice. It's a bit of a high mid
Yeah.
pitch that through the sound barrier of the rest of the band, because it carries your sound is going through it. If
Yeah.
you take lower voices, it will be a mess. But how does that go from that one thing and that point that you set by yourself? Okay, I'm bored doing that in that same concept, and I'm just gonna experiment, or
Well,
did you already have an idea?
Well, as far as the singing goes, soon as you recognize your voice, when you know your voice, for me, it's okay. That's what I can do. That's the way I do it best. That hasn't changed. So I will not sing different with TETSUWAN or with HYDRA VEIN or with anything else I do. That stays the same. I just try and sing the lyrics the best I can, and to try and sort of evoke the images and emotions that I think are important. So that's not going to change. That's why it probably sounds the same. Or for me, it sounds the same, but I can understand if somebody listening to it says, "Oh, it sounds totally different." The music will be different, but I'm not singing it any different.
No, the pitch is still the same, because it's like I
Yeah.
imagine like an icebreaker going through the noise instead of the ice.
Yeah.
Because your voice is always clear. I understand every word. I can follow it.
Well, thank you.
Because if you got a lower voice like my voice, it will go, it will disappear in the bass and everything like that. There is a certain kind of pitch in your voice that's just breaking it all open, because I can even in TETSUWAN,
Yeah.
it's a clear voice, and
Well,
for me it's like, how?
Well, it's what's important is also to know which key to sing in,
Yeah.
because TETSUWAN, we're tuned down to C. So a lot of it will be in G when I sing, or in F, and a high G will sort of cut through it. I mean, like, there's obviously, when you listen to a lot of metal, the voices tend to be very high, because they need to cut through all these really loud guitars in there. I sort of noticed that it doesn't have to be that high, and I can't even sing that high. I couldn't sing like some of these metal guys, really high in that. But there has to be a certain pitch to sort of cut through, and a certain sound, sort of kind of MIDI kind of sound, to be able to cut through.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you've got like a lot of noise happening, and you have a sort of low pitch voice, it's not going to cut through, because it's going to sort of disappear in the noise. And that's probably why my voice cuts through, because it's always at a certain pitch.
Yeah.
And also knowing which key to sing in, because sometimes I'll be writing a song and I'll have a melody and it's, oh, that sounds good, and I'll play it and it'll be too low, and I'm thinking, okay, that's not going to work. So I will automatically transpose it up. I'll play it like in a different key. So maybe sometimes I'll start a melody off in, say, it will be a TETSUWAN song, and I'll start off in the C, and it's not working, so I'll go up to either a G or maybe an F.
Yeah.
Just go up a little bit higher, and then straight away you'll notice, okay, it's cutting through. So, and what I did learn, I don't know who it was who said it, maybe Marvin Gaye, but he said when you're singing, you should be like towards your max, like, of your pitch, because that's when you'll get the emotion across better. And that's always stuck with me. I thought, okay, that's a good way of putting it, like saying why do you sing so high? And a lot of the soul singers used to do it, and also a lot of heavy metal singers, because it sort of gets the emotions across better, which sort of makes sense, I suppose.
It does make sense, but also frequent.
Makes it more powerful.
Yeah, frequent wise, with frequencies, it makes more sense. Because when I was younger and I was listening to your voice, I always thought that it had something to do with the AQ as well. Because I thought, what the fuck? Till I heard you live, and especially the last time in that record place here in Amsterdam.
Our concerto.
Yeah, concerto. And I was there and I was like, okay, what the fuck? You've got a voice when you hear it. And the second time you hear it, you know immediately it's your voice.
Okay, well, thanks.
Yeah, and yeah, it's a funny thing how we meet each other because I tattooed Ross,
This
and
one here.
he just gave me
This one.
a direct message, and I thought to myself, what, Ross Curry? Is that guy? I always thought that musician, if I could be a good musician, I want to do the same fucking thing he does on stage and things like that. So I was a bit confused. And right now we are sitting here talking about music. I'm not a tattooer anymore.
No, which is a shame because it's so cool.
It is a shame.
It's so cool.
Now the thing is, I want to make this my living, mate. I want to talk to musicians.
I mean, it's what we were talking about earlier. If sometimes you sort of have to take a different path.
I'm bored easily like you are.
Yeah.
We could be brothers.
Yeah.
But it's it's amazing to talk to you, and this is not going to be our last conversation.
No.
I've got one last question.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna end up this interview. Am I allowed, for once, in your practice, during TETSUWAN is practicing?
Of course.
Just to to film as well.
You can film. You can do whatever you want.
And talk to the guys who are working as well in TETSUWAN. Yeah.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. In October, TETSUWAN has his EP out. You will see it here as well on SmetMan.Amsterdam. And I will link it to TETSUWAN, Ross Curry, and the other band members. Don't forget, he is still looking for a bass player in TETSUWAN.
Yeah.
So if you are a professional and you've got the time to tour after the EP, let him know, or otherwise hello at SmetMan.Amsterdam. Just give me an email. I will send them to Ross. And right now, I want to fucking thank you, mate.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Till the next time.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
En jij ook. Hey, jij ook.